So let's talk about what you're going to learn in my session today. You are going to learn how to use Google Slides and create a digital choice board. You're going to learn what a digital choice board looks like, what it is, and why we use them in the classroom. We're going to learn how to link multimedia and hyperlinks to your template. And we're going to talk about ways to customize your choice board and how to differentiate it for your own class. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to create a Google account if you haven't done so already. Then type in the bit.ly link just as it's shown on the screen into your web browser, and it'll prompt you to make a copy of the slide deck I've created for you. That slide deck has all of the things you're going to need to create your choice board for today. If you have any issues with this bit.ly link, you can also download the PDF that comes along with my session, and I've hyperlinked it there. So let's talk a little bit about what choice boards are. A choice board is basically like a graphic organizer that allows your students to choose different activities to complete throughout the week or throughout the day. You can decide how many activities you'd like to add to your choice board and what activities you put on the choice board itself. So why do I use choice boards in my classroom? I feel that it gives students choice and motivation to complete the activities. Students can complete the different activities from the choice board in any way they would like. They can go in order, they can go from last activity to first activity. It really doesn't matter as long as they're completing each activity. The activities also incorporate a variety of different learning strategies and styles. So I feel like it gives students the options and choices to complete it at their own pace. Choice boards also allow teachers to differentiate learning. You can include as many as 6 or 9 activities or as few as 3 or 4 on your choice board. It really is up to you. You can decide what types of activities your students would do best in and complete. Teachers can also choose a level of difficulty of each activity. Choosing what works best for your students in your classroom is an easy way to differentiate this learning. Another reason why I love using choice boards in the classroom is that you can link a variety of engaging activities. They don't always have to link to a paper and pencil activity. They can link to a website. They can link to videos. They can link to different learning opportunities for your students. Digital choice boards are also really easy to share with your class. If you use Google Classroom, you can send it as an assignment there. You can also just send each student their own link if that works for you. But the best part of using choice boards is that you can create a reusable template. This will save you so much time. Once you've learned how to create one choice board, the opportunities are endless. You can use it time and time again and just switch out the activities. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and go over to our Google Slides template that you made a copy of. So you can see here that this is the example I showed you in the previous slide. It's a digital choice board that I created using a couple graphics and text boxes. I created 6 of them, and I'm going to show you how we're going to type into each box and link it to different slides in the slideshow. So this is my master copy that I'm going to be working with, but the one you have should look just like this, where you also have your example slide, and you'll see that you have one slide already created for you. We're going to learn how to link that slide to the choice board. And you'll see that there are a variety of images, and they're static images. That means they can't be moved or manipulated. It's just an image embedded into the background of a slide. And I've created these for you so that it's easy for you to create your digital choice board today. You don't have to worry about finding graphics or backgrounds or icons or movable pieces. So I have a few rainbow slides for you to use as your activity slides. And then I've added these little shapes, and all I've done is created them from the shapes section here on Google Slides, and I've colored them in just different colors to match the slides. So you have rectangles, circles, dialog boxes, squares, arrows, and all of that good stuff. And remember that these are movable pieces, so if you accidentally delete one, you can go ahead and just edit undo. If you find that you can't recover any of the shapes, just go ahead and go to the bit.ly link again and make a copy onto your drive. So let's go ahead and look at the choice board I gave you. So this is a completed choice board, and all I've done is I've created a background image, and the only thing that's movable are these text boxes. So this is actually what you would send to your students. You would make a student version and send them that link, or link it onto Google Classroom. And the reason this is the one that you would send to your kids is because they can't manipulate or move anything in the background except for the text boxes. And we want to have text boxes that are movable in the student option because that's what you're going to link to the different slides. So if they click on this text box, it would take them to a specific page in the slide deck. If you didn't have those text boxes or shapes or anything on it, they wouldn't be able to click it and go to a specific section on their choice board. So that's the reason why you want to make sure that your student version is going to have text boxes. But you want to make sure that theirs is not movable in any way other than just the text boxes on the top. I've also included a digital sticker that they can drag and drop over the activity that they've completed. And I've made enough for them to be able to put over all 6 activities if they complete it, or you can if you want to practice. So you might be wondering, well, Eris, how do I get to what you created? And that's what we're going to do today. I've also included a second slide that we're going to practice linking just for practice. So this is a slide that I made using this blank slide. So everything I've done on this slide, I did from scratch, and I'm going to show you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a digital background, just like I did here. So you can go ahead and follow along with me. If you want to just watch this time and then go back and do it again a second time when you watch the video again, that's fine as well. So I'm going to go ahead and recreate this digital choice board that I showed you here. I'm going to go ahead and make a copy. So Control C, make a copy of this little corkboard, and I'm going to place it right underneath the example so I can refer back. And you can go ahead and do the same. You can do it with the chalkboard background, or you can do it with the corkboard. Now you're going to go ahead and look at the example. The example has a title in the back and it has like a little instruction sentence below it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a large text box, and it's going to be your digital choice board title. So I'm just going to title it Digital Choice Board. I'm going to go ahead and center it. Make sure that it fits nicely. And I have a few fonts that are my favorites. Oswald is one of the favorites of mine because it is just a really nice and bold background that you can go ahead and work with. So I'm going to go ahead and make it as large as it'll fit. So it'll probably be around that size. You can go ahead and make it a little bit bigger, smaller, and you don't have to pick Oswald. It's just a font that I like to use. I'm going to go ahead and change the background to white. And then I'm going to go refer back to my master copy. Okay. After you complete an activity, place a sticker over that activity. So you can go ahead and add another text box with the instructions here. And it would help if I spelled it correctly. You're just going to add your instructions there. And another font that I like to use is Century Gothic. It's a really clean font that students can easily read. That's really important when deciding what to use on your choice boards. You don't want to go too crazy because remember, students need to be able to access this and read it. There you go. So once you've included some instructions, you're going to go back and see that I've added 6 boxes, and you can practice just adding 1 or 2 or all of them. I'm going to show you how to do 3 of them and then how to duplicate it quickly. So you're going to go down to your slide deck, and this is my master slide deck, so I have the activities that we're going to link here. Just ignore the slides on the left side, but you're going to go down to your movable pieces, and we're going to go to the rectangles, and you're going to click this white rectangle here. You're going to copy it, go back to your working copy, and you're going to paste it. And I'm going to drag it all the way up to the top corner. And I'm going to need to make 6 of these. So from this one that I've kind of added to the slideshow, I'm going to add 6 of them. So I'm going to add 3 to the top, and see how they don't fit. I've made them too large. So I'm going to choose all of these. So I'm just going to drag my just going to click on these and hold down the shift button so that I can resize all of them at once. Perfect. So now I have 3, and all I need to do, I'm going to hold down the shift button, copy it, and paste them. So now I have 6 equal choice boards here. So there we go. So whenever you want to select more than one, just hold down the shift button. Okay, so I have my 6 pieces there. The next thing I did was I just added a circle with the number on top. If you go back to your movable pieces, you will find the circle here. You can copy and paste that one. It's going to be large, so remember, resize it. And if you hold down the shift button, it'll make a perfect circle for you. So there's 1. I'm going to copy and paste that one, 2, and 3. I'm going to hold down the shift button and I'm going to select all of these pieces, copy and paste them so I can just drag them down to the section below. You can just move them with your mouse. And now we have our 6 circles. The next step is to add the numbers so that students know which choice board they're working with. I'm going to add a text box, add the number 1. I'm going to center it. I'm going to make it white. I'm going to make it larger. And I'm going to go back to one of my favorite fonts, Oswald. I'm just going to go ahead and center this text box. Just be careful you're not moving everything. Copy and paste that text box so that the next number is just as formatted as the first one. So go ahead and work on numbering your choice board. Okay, now you've seen that I've basically recreated this choice board. Super easy. All I've done is I've used the digital pieces, the movable pieces that I included in your slide deck, and I've just added text boxes over the background. You can resize these, you can do whatever you'd like to make them fit. We're just going to go ahead and go with this size here. The last step is to make this a static image. So that means you're going to take this single slide that you've created, you're going to go to File, Download, PNG image as a PNG image. And it's going to download it onto your desktop or Google Drive. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my desktop, and you can see that I have found the image here. And all it is a static image. That means this is the background that you've created for your choice board. So now you can customize it by adding text boxes with the different activities that you're going to link and have the students complete. One great thing I like to do is I like to create a variety of choice boards with different options. So you can go ahead and do the same thing that I showed you and create a choice board that has 6 or that has 9 pieces or has as little as 4 of them. So you can go ahead and do that. That way you have your template ready to go and you can just assign the activities when you're ready. So the important thing is that you've created that image that doesn't move. So you might be wondering, well, Eris, I have the image now. How do I get it back into the slideshow to send to my students? We're going to go to File, New Presentation, and we're going to title this. Let's close out these themes. We're going to title this Student Version Choice Board so that I know this is the student version I'm working with. One thing I always do is I resize the page. You can leave it as widescreen, but I like to have it as 11 by 8.5, just in case they want to print anything. It's just a nice size to work with. I delete all the text boxes. Now we're going to insert into the background that image that we saved. So you go to Background, which is located up here, choose Image, Browse, and mine is on my desktop. So there it is right over here. And there you go. Now your slide background is this digital choice board that you made with me. The next step is to add the text boxes and then to link them to different activities. So that's what we're going to do next. I want you to go back to the slide deck that I gave you, the one you have a copy of, and I want you to go ahead and look at the example slide that says all about the moon. So we are going to create a science activity and we're going to link it to this student choice board here. So the first thing we're going to do is look at how I recreated this slide. All I did was I took this blank black slide, the black and white slide, and I added different things. I added the title. I added a text box with bullet points. And you can add an activity here. You can add a reading passage, whatever it is you want to add for your students. You can also add audio. I added that here. I would have linked it to this image. I inserted an image. And that's really easy to do. If you go to insert image, you can search from the web. So I just typed in moon phases, and it gave me a ton of options here, and you would have just clicked on the image of the moon and it would have inserted into your slideshow. This is just a chart, a table, so I would go to insert table, and I would just pick how many different columns and rows I'd like. I added some more text boxes here. This was an image I inserted, and one shortcut I want to show you. I know we're kind of going on a little tangent, but one add-on that I really recommend you install to your Google account is one for icons and images. It's called Icons for Slides and Docs. So one way you do it is you go to Get Add-ons, and you're going to search for one word, flat icon. And you'll see that I have mine installed, and it works with slides, with docs, with sheets, with forms. I love it. So you're going to go ahead and install it. Mine says uninstall, so I'm not going to click that. And then it'll always be there on your add-ons. So if you go to Start, you'll see some of the latest icons that I was working with. But let's say we want to add an icon, this video player here, or let's just say a video camera. It would show you a ton of different options, and there's the one that I installed here. There are some that have a little crown. That means those are premium icons. Those are not free, but anything else is free. And you can choose a different color to download it in, different size, but it's super easy to install them. And icons are a really great way to add some variety to your slides. So all I did was I just added a green little shape to the back of it, and that's how I made it look like it was colored in. But it's super easy, and flat icon is awesome. There are just a ton of options for you to download to use in your slides. And then one important thing I want you to look at in this example slide is I have a return to choice board icon with a text box over it. You want to make sure that your students always have the option when they go from one activity to the next. They're going to need a way to go from, let's say, this moon activity that they're doing, that's this one here. You're going to want to make sure that there's a way for them to go back to the choice board, that they can go back and click on a different activity to complete. So remember that all of your activities that you link needs to have a return to choice board located somewhere on the slide, and teach your students that they need to click that to go back to the main page, so they don't have to keep scrolling through all of the slides that you link. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go back to your student version that you've created, and you're going to type in that first text box, and I just cut and paste so it's quicker. So once you've typed in the science activity, we're going to call it the moon activities. It has a title, it has the activity there, has a subject so students know what they're working on, and this is the student version, remember, so there's nothing else located here. You go back to your working copy, and you are going to take that slide that I've already made that you're going to pretend you whipped up and made. You're going to copy it. You're just going to paste it here as page 2. And it's going to ask you to match or keep the link. Don't link it, just say match. And now you have the slide that's going to be linked to this square here. So let's go ahead and figure out how you're going to get your students to go from clicking this to taking them to this slide here. And it's super easy. You're going to take this text box that we typed in, you're going to right click, and you'll see the option link. You're going to click that here, and it's going to say, do you want to link this to a different slide in this presentation? And we're going to want to link it to slide number 2. So we're going to click slide 2 and apply. Now, when students are working with this in presentation mode, or in just regular mode, but in presentation mode, do you see how now when I hover over this, there's a hyperlink? When they click on that square, it'll take them to this activity to do. They can go ahead and type into this activity if that's something that you wanted them to do. If they were still in present mode, they can click on audio, they can click on a video hyperlink that you can send out there. So it just takes them directly to that slide. But notice that there's no way for them to get back to the main digital choice board page, so we're going to do that next. So we're going to go ahead and link this to the home menu. You're going to right click, link. We're going to link it to the first slide. All right, so now we've linked it to the first slide. If you go back to present mode, you'll see that when students hover over this section here, it'll take them to the main menu. You're going to practice that again. This will take them to the science activity, and this will take them back to the main menu. And you're going to do that with each of the activities that you do. So let's say the second activity was going to be, let's look at our example, a math place value activity. You would go ahead and type in the math place value activity here, and whatever slide you want to have your students complete or activity, create a slide for it, link that back to the home page, and you're going to link this square to that third slide as well. So it's a lot of going back and forth between your slides and the home choice board, and it's all about linking them. It's that easy. You'll notice that my example slide that I've given you also includes that digital sticker. So let's go ahead and add that option to our choice board. We're going to go to our very cool add-on called Icons for Slides. We're going to start, and we're going to look for a check mark. So we're going to type in check mark. And you'll see that you can see a ton of options. I liked this big circle, so I'm going to click that one, and I'm going to insert it. And there you go. You have created your little digital sticker. You can have a happy face, you can have any sort of icon you'd like. There are a lot of different options, but one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that there are enough check marks for the activities that they complete. So let's say there are 6 activities, I'd like to add at least 6 check marks. And you just literally layer them one on top of the other. And if you have trouble with layering, you can go ahead and select them all. Go to Arrange, Align, and click Center, and it aligns all of them. And that's it, guys. That is the easiest way to create your very own digital choice board. Remember, you must link every activity to a slide in your slide deck. And remember that each slide that you do link has a Return to Choice board linked there.